Hello everyone, welcome back. So I know it's been a while since I've had like a playthrough or anything, or any kind of like voiceover video type deal, but with the new Fallout show that came out, it felt, appropriate since I got most of you involved in watching my channel from Fallout 4, and yeah, there is an update around the corner. I think it's next month or later this month, I'm not exactly sure when again, but whenever that update comes out, I will be going back to Fallout 4 and playing a lot more of that, especially with ultra wide support, because again, if you've seen my setup video, you know my primary monitor is an ultra wide. But anyway, we're not talking about that, we're talking about the Fallout show. So I want to preface this by saying there will be spoilers in this video. If you do not, and I mean absolutely do not want to get any spoilers for the Fallout show or any of the eight episodes that are in there, now's your time to click off the video. Okay, just leave, go, pause it, go watch all 8 episodes, then come back and then we can have a discussion. But right now I want to let you guys know there will be spoilers for everything. So we're gonna jump into this and I just gotta say I'm blown away. The job that they've done on this is amazing. I'm pretty sure a lot of people have said the same thing as me, or will be saying the same thing as me, or have said, I don't know, however you want to say it. But the point is that we all know that video game adaptations or TV show or movie adaptations of video game worlds and scenes and whatever you want to call it, just whatever, they don't always turn out to be good. Alright, I know people say that Halo Season 2 has gotten a lot better. It's going back to like the roots of Halo and everything, but after Season 1, I mean, I can't even bring myself to watch Season 1. I've heard about it. Whenever I heard there was a sex scene with Master Chief in Season 1 of the Halo series, I was like, that completely, he's not supposed to be clapping cheeks, he's supposed to be clapping Covenant, okay? But anyway, that's a joke. Besides, we'll get past that. But you know, there's been adaptations of certain video games and everything, and they've just dropped the ball so immensely that it's terrible. Like there was that Doom movie with I think it was with The Rock, and yeah, nobody remembers that. I mean, I'm not even sure if it was good or not. I think I heard the common consensus is that it really wasn't. I mean, yeah, we've got The Last of Us, we've got Cyberpunk Edge Runners, now we have Fallout, and I mean we've had a handful of really good shows that were taken from the worlds and the style of video games, and it's crazy to see those shows be as good and as popular as they are. But like I said, just over the past, we've seen just way too many shows that were just, they dropped the entire ball, completely nuked any possibility of there being a good video game or movie adaptation of a video game. So where does this leave the new Fallout show? I can say with 1000% certainty that after watching the entirety of the Fallout show from episode 1 to episode 8 over the past couple of days and everything, I tried not to do it all in one sitting, because I feel like if you watch the entire thing in one sitting, you don't really let it sink in enough. So I spread it out, maybe like an episode or two every day or so. So over the past like 5 days or 4 days, however long it's been, I've watched all the episodes, and I gotta say, just, it was amazing. So a lot of people have been saying that, you know, throughout the entire show, it truly does feel like whenever you're watching Lucy, you're watching like your main character going through like a playthrough of Fallout, you know? Like, okay, I wake up, this is my life, this is my backstory. Here's the big moment, I leave the vault, I have to go find my dad because he's been taken by some people from the surface. He's been taken, I gotta go find my dad. And then we go through this playthrough, and like I said, there's gonna be spoilers, so brace yourself. But you know, you get to the end. You get to the end of the show. She finds her dad. She's able to get him back. But there's a big secret. And that's where they get you, is like that's the big twist with Fallout and everything. It's kinda like how in Fallout 4, like, I'm looking for my son. I'm looking for my son. What do you mean? What year is it? And you find your son, and comes to find out your son is physically older than you. I mean, in terms of raw age, you're older than him, but your son is physically, he's a geriatric old man, and you're somewhat mid-30s, 40s woman, and you're just like, yo, my son who was taken out of my vault is now the leader of an underground institution that creates robotic human beings. And yeah, my baby that I only just gave birth to not long ago, because you know she was frozen in time, or he, whoever, whichever soul survivor you choose, he or she, they've been frozen in time. So you know, they went into the vault with a baby, and they come out expecting to find a baby, and then they end up finding out, well, the son's now like a kid, like, you know, like 8-10 years old or something like that. But then when you actually do find it, you know, father of the institute is your son Sean. So it's kind of like that with the Fallout show. She finds her dad, but it's like, oh yeah, by the way, you know that settlement, that big city, Shady Sands, that was the capital of the new California Republic that you've been hearing about so much throughout the show? Yeah, your dad nuked it because your mom left the vault with you and your brother. And he didn't like that, so he said, you know what? I think that these people are corrupting my family, so I'm going to nuke them. But not only that, I'm not even who I say I am. I am one of the original executives from back in Vault-Tec from before the war, 200 years ago. And it's like, what? Like, that really blew my mind whenever Moldaver, she was just like, do you even know who your dad really is? I was like, oh shit, here we go. I was like, we're about to have a really big Fallout moment right now. We're about to see really what's going on here. We're about to exactly get some lowdown on the we're about to get the scoop. And so I was like, I ain't ready for it. I mean, I was ready for it. I wanted to see what was about to happen, but at the same time, I'm like, oh my god, here we go. What's about to happen? So I mean, it was a bananas, like, it was bananas the way it started. This naive girl who was so quick to like, okay, I'm getting in an arranged marriage with this random guy from another vault, and you know, she's naive, so she doesn't really understand that, hey, this guy over there is kind of sketch. So you know, they get married, and she's like, all right, let's go back to the room. They get down with it real quick, and then all of a sudden he's, you know, just wiping his dick off with the damn curtain, and then she notices all the scars and everything, and then she hears all the murder outside of her room and everything, and then all of a sudden now they're fighting each other. And then she rips his face up with a piece of glass, and I'm just like, damn, that shit went quick. But I mean, for the most part, it was just like, you know, in this show, it's just like you go through a couple different characters' storylines. Like, you have your side quests, you have your companions, your side characters, and I know that, like, Maximus, he's supposed to be kind of like he's supposed to be kind of like another main character in a way, but I really felt like he was really like a companion of like Lucy, and he was on his own little quest and everything. Like, he was a main character of the show, like a main protagonist, but he was also kind of just like Lucy's companion. Like, you know, I feel like if it was like Kate or Piper or something like that, or Curie even from Fallout 4, it felt like Maximus was more like a companion. He has his own little companion quest line and everything, and I kind of think it's funny because I'm kind of comparing whenever he brought back the fake head to the Brotherhood, and he presented it all confident and light. I think he failed his charisma check because they were like, yeah, we're about to kill you, but then they had an easier charisma check right after that, and they're like, yeah, you're strong, you take your power, yeah. And I was like, oh, he almost got murdered. So that was pretty crazy. And then, I mean, now when it comes to Cooper, the ghoul, oh my gosh. I love that the show started with him and his little girl outside. Just, you know, they're in Los Angeles. And I mean, I love seeing like the skyline of Los Angeles. You guys know that's my favorite city. But the point is, it's just like seeing like him and his little girl over here at this birthday party and everything. And just, they're enjoying it, everything with each other. And just, I'm not gonna lie, I teared up hella hard when I seen the bombs drop right there, because just like she was like, Daddy, what is that thing when you hold your thumb up or whatever? I don't remember exactly what she said because, you know, it was the first episode. It was like it was a big moment, but I forgot exactly what she said. But she held her thumb up, and you just seen her holding her thumb up, and the light just filling the screen, and nobody's paying attention. I'm like, how do you not see the giant ass nuke that popped off in the center of downtown Los Angeles? I mean, I thought that was kind of funny in a way, but at the same time, it was just like I actually started tearing up. I like held my breath. I was like, oh my god, the bomb is dropping. Here it is. And you see him turn around, and he's just like, you can see his eyes, and he's like, oh shit, there it goes. But like going through his storyline was crazy, because then you see like that moment, and you see fast forwards to the future where they're like, oh yeah, we're digging up this ghoul. He's supposed to be like a badass bounty hunter, and then they dig him up. They have a little conversation, and he comes to be a really witty and funny guy, and then he just destroys all the dudes that dug him up. And I was like, oh my god, that's pretty messed up, but also funny because it's Fallout, you know, it makes sense. But I gotta say, one of the biggest plot twists that's definitely a Fallout moment for sure is that the bad, like the bad person, or the big enemy that you like, the big boss that you think you need to fight at the end of the game, or at the end of the show, you feel like, okay, Lucy's gonna have to take on Moldaver, and you're like, she's gonna have to kill this bitch. Okay, this chick came in this vault, killed all her people, and now she took her dad and said, hey, you should get up to the surface sometimes. And they really dragged it on through the show. They said, hey, this person is bad. They are bad. Even whenever they had the flashbacks to the past, before the war, before the bombs initially dropped, you could see Cooper talking to this chick, and she was just like, you should see who your husband or your wife really works for. And you're talking about Cooper's wife, how she worked at Vault-Tec and everything. And then you know, later in the show, or later in the episodes, you start to learn that, you know, she's one of the main bad reasons that everything happened the way it did in the world, is because she was like, yeah, we should totally drop the bombs to ensure that everything goes the way we want it to. And I'm just like, yo, that's crazy. But I mean, what I'm trying to say is, like, they made Moldaver to seem like to be like this big enemy you're gonna have to fight at the end. And then when it finally comes to the moment, Lucy walks up there, here's your head, I want my dad back. And she's like, hold up, Uno reverse card. Actually, your dad's the bad guy. I'm really just not the bad guy. And then it goes and shows everything that Lucy's mom escaped to the surface with her and her brother, and Moldaver was there to help, you know, and lead the new California Republic in Shady Sands and everything. It was just like, oh my god, she's not the enemy. She's not a bad person. I mean, she didn't have to massacre everybody in the vault, but still, she's not a horrible person. And it was like, Jesus Christ, this is wild. I was like, oh my god. And then Lucy, just like, they really encapsulated it, just her sitting there forever not saying anything. And it really made me feel like the moment when I first was playing the story of Fallout 4, and I learned that Sean was father, and that father led the Institute. And once he opened up that whole can of worms, I just kind of sat there for a minute. I did not hit any options. I didn't click on any dialogue. I just kind of sat there. And so it was really reminiscent with Lucy, how she just sat there taking it in, like, yo, my dad killed my mom, and that's why I don't know her anymore. And it's wild. And she's just sitting there like, oh my god. And then you can see the ghoul that's sitting at the table all tied up. That's her mom. Her mom is a feral ghoul, because her dad, who was a big executive of Vault-Tec that chose to be frozen in time or something like that until the future, killed her mom. It was just like the biggest moment. Like, you just kind of set the controller down, stare at the screen for a solid 10 minutes, like, what the fuck? I don't know where to go from here. It's like, what And that's another thing that Bethesda's always done really well with these games, is just these really big moments that get revealed to you. Like, everything you know, or everything you think you know, is a damn lie. It is not the truth, and we are going to completely rewrite the way you think. And I'm just sitting here like, bro, this whole time we're like, Moldaver is the bad guy. She needs to be killed. Do not bring her the head. Give it to the Brotherhood. And then he comes to find out she's the good guy and everything. And because, I mean, you could even see, like, when Lucy first walked into the settlement that's at the Griffith Observatory, you could see her walking through there, and you could see her facial expression. She's kind of looking like, this is the enemy's lair? It looks really peaceful. There's kids playing, there's crops growing, and, you know, people look like they're having a pretty good life. Well, she gets there, you know, gives the head to her and everything, finds out it's just some kind of, like, I forgot what it's called, some kind of, like, infinite energy. I forgot what it was called, but it doesn't matter. Point is that she gives the head to her and everything, and, you know, we go through all that. I've already said all this, but, and then the Brotherhood flies in, because Maximus is like, I can lead y'all to the real head, and that's how all this started. And then when the Brotherhood starts just destroying this poor little settlement on top of the hill where the Griffith Observatory is, you see the look on his face. He's like, oh shit, I messed up. Whoops. And that's been like his whole memo. The whole show is like, he's trying to do the right thing, kinda, but at the same time, he just doesn't really get it all together. He just kind of drops the ball himself, and it's also a very Fallout moment. Like, your companions are there like, I'm gonna help you, I'm gonna do whatever I can, and then they just run into a room and set off all the traps and mines, and I'm like, no, you dumb son of a bitch, stop what you're doing. Stay there. Stop. So that's why I think, I think Maximus is more like a companion, because he's the guy that runs into the room. Kind of like I've had Kate do a couple of times. She'll run straight into a room full of traps and ghouls and everything, just get killed and everything, and she's like, ah, shit, I'm dead. And then I'm sitting there like, bro, I was trying to sneak in. What the hell? So yeah, it was funny to see Maximus kind of just like setting off all the traps and basically just destroying everything. And then it was almost sad to see if he was gonna die at the end. I was like, oh my god. But then I'm glad he didn't die. But I love the way they set up for season 2, because then I think at the end that was New Vegas we saw. I may have to omit this part of the video. I don't know if I'm right about that, but I think that was New Vegas that we saw. So the fact that we're gonna go to New Vegas in the next season. Let me look this up real quick. I want to make sure. Okay, I just looked it up. So that was it, because at the very end, like one of the very last scenes in the ending of the show was Hank looking at New Vegas. And I was like, bro. I got chills down my spine. I was like, dude, New Vegas, the new California Republic. Oh my god. I was like, bro, it was such a geek moment. Like, I was like nerding out. I was like, oh my god. And then it's just like, this is wild. So like, the fact that we're gonna go to New Vegas in the next season to find Hank and find all the baddies who, you know, destroyed Shady Sands, and, you know, you're gonna have Maximus, Lucy, and Cooper as like the main 3 characters. And it's cool to see that like Cooper and Lucy are now like teaming up to go after her dad. And then I don't know what the hell Maximus is doing. He's kind of alive, and now he's a Brotherhood Knight officially, so he got his dream. He's now a knight for the Brotherhood of Steel, which is pretty cool. And but it was just like, overall, I mean, just the story, the way everything unraveled in this entire show is just, it's phenomenal. And then not to mention that her little brother finding out everything the way he did by going into Vault 31. Oh my god. When you seen the little brain dude just kind of like scooting out of there like, hey, yo, come here, I'm gonna stick you with this needle, you've seen too much, you're not supposed to be here. I was like, yo. And then I remember whenever Cooper was sitting in his wife's office in the building, and the lady that was in there talking to him for a bit, we didn't know who she was. And then whenever he said, oh no thanks, I'm good, Betty, ooh, I got a chill down my spine. I was like, oh my god, Betty, the current overseer now of Vault 33. I was like, oh my god. Oh, this shit's getting wild, man. This is getting crazy. This is getting wild, man. We've only have 8 episodes in one season of this show. I'm like, I'm gonna have to rewatch it again because I'm gonna feel like there's totally some stuff I'm not picking up on. But oh my god, dude, the show was wild. Show was wild. Okay, so just like, I mean, honest to God, just the whole show, it was amazing. Like, there were so many storylines going on at once, but it wasn't like enough to be overwhelming. Like, everything got explained pretty darn well, I would say. Like, there's not really any holes or anything that I can pick up on right away. It's not like Game of Thrones season 8, you know, that really, I mean, I was a big fan of that show for a long time, man, and they really shattered my goddamn heart when they released that last season. I was like so hyped. I'm like, it's the final season of Game of Thrones, and then, oh yeah, here's this. I'm like, wow. But anyway, this isn't about Game of Thrones. This is about Fallout. So, I mean, just going through the show and just seeing all of this, and like I said, all the storylines, all the characters, the way the story's told, the way everything is, it's just like, oh my god, it was amazing. And then again, like with the, I know this video is just gonna keep going, but just like, I haven't even talked about the other vault. I think it was like, what was it, like vault? It was the one with all the mutated people, where the dude had like a nose on his head, and the other guy had, like, the overseer had one eye. I forgot the number of the vault. I think it was like, was it Vault 4? I could be wrong, but seeing, because you know, every vault's an experiment. You even get that confirmed in like episode 7, I think it was, or episode 7 or 8. You get it confirmed. Like, every vault is an experiment, because that's what was agreed on with the executives. Like Robco, all the other big companies came together in this board meeting at Vault-Tec, and they all said, yeah, you can run any experiment you want in these vaults, you know? So, like, with that being said, it was just like, oh my god. But like, seeing that, it was just like, they were experimenting on the original vault dwellers that were in that vault, trying to make like mutated superhumans or something like that, and they ended up just making really bad mutated monsters. So, you know, they took over and said, no, we're trying to prevent this, we're actually the good guys. And she's like over here like, oh my god, you guys are crazy. And then comes to find out, hey, no, we're not actually bad guys. Yeah, we look kind of weird, but we're actually pretty good. And she's like, oh shit. But it's crazy because, like I said, just like, you go into the entire show like, this is a bad guy, this is bad, this is not good right here. And then you go through there and it's just like, oh yeah, we're actually good. It's not that bad. You gotta have a different impression. And I'm just like, it really was like watching a Fallout playthrough of like one of the games. Just, you know, somebody going into it blind, having their presumptions and just their initial thoughts about everything, and then, you know, the characters, they give some context and background, and then before you know it, you see the main characters over here like, oh my god, I've been wrong this entire time. And there's so many moments like that, especially like in Fallout 4, you know? Because like in Fallout 4, you know, you go into the vaults like, oh yeah, we're gonna survive the nuclear blast and everything, and we're gonna get frozen. Or they didn't even know they were gonna get frozen. They thought it was like some kind of like cleansing chamber or something like that. Like, oh, you're just getting here to get cleaned up, and then you're in there and all of a sudden you freeze in time. You don't even know it. You're just frozen. And it's like, oh my god. And then like all the other vaults and everything, you know, it's all the crazy experiments and whatnot. But I don't want this video to go on too long. I just wanted to go ahead and just, wow. The show was amazing. And on a scale of like 1 to 10, what would I rate it? I mean, I'll give it a 10 out of 10. Hell, even give it the cliche 11 out of 10. It was beyond my expectations. I was like, it's good that they had Bethesda directly linked in with the creation of the show. And I was watching a snippet of Todd Howard saying how pretty much everybody who was creating the show was also a fan of Fallout, even the cameraman and everything, and just so that the passion was there, the nitpicking and making sure every small detail was, you know, accurate and actually it fits in with the universe and everything. It's just, it's wild to see that we can, as video game lovers, video game fans and enjoyers, we are allowed to have very high quality TV shows and movies based off of our favorite franchises and universes that we've come to enjoy and immerse ourselves into. And it really just, it brings hope for the future. And I can honestly, without a doubt, say that I am very much looking forward to season 2 of this show. I am extremely hyped. But I mean, just, you know, just, it's amazing. It blew me away. I mean, after, like I said, just this show, Cyberpunk Edgerunners, that show made me very emotional for days. The Last of Us, I mean, they pretty much follow the exact same story as the game, but it's like it didn't feel like they exactly copied the game, you know. It just, they basically wrote their own book with the same kind of story and just changed it up with their own artistic style. And I mean, but with Fallout though, this was just, it was wild. Like, words cannot describe how great this show is. I mean, honestly, I was gonna say, if you haven't seen it yet, go watch it. But I mean, if you're at the end of this video, after watching this video and hearing me talk for these almost 30 minutes now, and I already said there was gonna be spoilers in like the first 3 minutes of the video, and you've watched all this, I mean, you don't even need to watch it. I mean, you need to watch the show, honestly, because I don't even say everything. There's so much more. There's so much more. It's just not coming to me right now. But I'm just saying, like, the show is amazing. It is worth a watch. It is definitely worth even buying on physical media, you know, just something that you can definitely put in your media cabinet collection or whatever. Just, this show is amazing. I love it. I'm excited for season 2, and honestly, I'm excited to see what the future of movie inspired video games, or video game inspired movies, yeah, and TV shows. I'm excited to see what the future brings, honestly. So yeah, you know, if you enjoyed the video, it's been me, Cameron, CB, whatever you want to call me. And like I said, once that new update for Fallout 4 comes out, I would definitely be doing another playthrough. Definitely be uploading it to the channel, and we'll be playing in ultra wide 4K. So yeah, if you enjoyed, drop a like, subscribe, comment down below what you think. Let me know your opinions on the show. I would love to hear everybody else's opinions, because honestly, like I said, just show's amazing. I want to know what other people think. Can't get enough of it. And yeah, thank you for watching. Peace out, everybody.